We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. There was a nation living in peace and unity. Yeah. There are people with love and harmony. Oh, yeah. They saw greatness rise up to its purity. With another people of different culture, a different heritage, bias and oppressive. Oh, I see. A nation from trigger of Africa, rising with strength and might and power. In due time, nobody gonna oppress us. Rather, you all gonna embrace her. With your flag, with your flag, with your flag, with your flag. Oh, yeah. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home. Oh yeah, Biafra is our home. Oh, it's my home. Yeah, Biafra is our home.
I reminisce way back 1967. Death toll on the blood couldn't count them even. Mama screaming, child squealing, pops on the ground. 2.5 years, over 3 million's gone. Why? Cause we asked for our freedom, and we're going back to our sovereign kingdom. They shut us down when we cried, the world said nothing. Sitting back in the crib, watching our suffering. Should I talk about the planes dropping shells like rain? Suka had the first taste of a hero's blood. Abaganazo Bunigwe was stronger than flood, but the juke is too strong and fought them off on the chart. Thought the bloodshed's gone, then it came again. 216 and the massacre, it started again. So bloody name, I couldn't cry tears. Blood dripping down my eyes, water in my veins. We died trying to fight the cause and we're trying to break him. It's our freedom, but the world was against us.
Wave your flag over Africa. Welcome people of Biafra. Wave your flag over all the world. See those people of Zion is here.
It is the nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion. It is the nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion.
We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. Yeah. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home. I see the rising sun from Africa. Oh, this is sign of victory. Oh, yeah. I see future in Africa. Oh yeah, people of Biafra. See light shining on the world. Oh yeah.
What's that, Martin? We're not fighting each other. We know where we're going. We're going to get Biafra. There is nothing anybody can do about it. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. I need them to understand this. We've crossed the Rubicon, the point of no return. There is nothing anybody can do. If I'm alive, if I'm dead, if I'm wherever I may be, Biafra will come. If I'm dead, it's even better because it will come far more quicker. I can assure you. If Biafra is fighting for you, don't touch your property. If you're fighting alone, you're bound to lose it. So Biafra is the best. We will become the 16th member country of ECOWAS. If Nigeria doesn't release those properties, then we'll take them to court and we'll get them back. Even twice the value. The Jews had investments all over the world. Most of the priceless artifacts and paintings belong to many families in Germany. It was stolen by the Nazi Party. Do you know that? Eventually they got everything back with compensation on top of it. That's what we're going to do. If you thought our investments will come back for you, and we'll know where we can get it from. So there is nothing for anyone to worry about. It's only if I'm not stopping you from being a Nigerian, if you are born on the streets of Lagos and you want to be a Lagosian and your name is Adamma, oh well and good. There's no problem.
Onye si na akata anya ahụhụ ma ọ bụ na anyị fe arụsị anyị wee na-efe arụsị mgbe were iwe gị na ọmụma gị wee bịa leta anyị ụmụ anyị wee na-anwụsị ụfọdụ nọ n'ụzọ ije ha anaghị alọta ụlọ ọzọ nne na nna wee na-ata ahụhụ wee na-ata ikikere eze nwaanyị kunye ka ọ gaa ubi gaa rụọ ọrụ Fulani chiri ehi bata ebe ala ihe niile okwu ebepụghị isi anyị pụta anyị kpọpụ onye nwe anyị n'ugwu Awụsa ahụ ejide anyị wee gbuo ihe ọbụla anyị mara aka n'ime ha si maka ha gaa n'ihu elekwa ọdụ ụgbọ mmiri n'igwe ọcha bụ ememiri ọhịa nke dị na Kalaba otu aka ahụ anyị na-ala nsọ ebe Biafra bụ ndị kọstọm sokwenye anyị n'etiti anyị anọghị n'ime mmiri kama kọstọm juru ebe niile ha wee na-ata anyị ahụhụ anyị kwuo sịpụta anyị ka kpọchie anyị kwuo ekwe sịpụta anyị ka gbagbuo anyị onye nwe anyị na Chineke na nke bi n'igwe ọ bụ ụzọ dị anya ka isi na-ekwu ndị iro anyị n'anya wee karịa ndị nke gị akwa anyị bụ ụmụ Chineke akwa ọba aha anyị ka anyị na-aza akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza ike Chukwu akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza amara Chineke akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza Chisom akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza Chizoba nna nke dị nsọ onye ime eluigwe dịka otu onye iro dị na nyebe ụmụ gị bịa ka iwe zọpụta anyị bịa ka iwe napụta anyị n'aka ọjọọ ihe bịa ka iwe lụọrọ anyị ọgụ bịa ka iwe dịtụ ozu ọgụgụwa mgbe emilere Goliat Chineke nna nke igwe ruo ememiri Fero sikwa otu a mee ka Fero ka ọ guzo n'ihu ụmụ ndị anyị bi obi ka o wee taa akọkọ igiri ụtọ ọzọ ị ga na-edu anyị n'ụzọ niile nke ezi omume ọ bụla adịghị na anyị na-aga ndagwurugwu onyinye ọnwụ ọ bụ bụ nwa bụ ekekere n'igwe n'ụwa nwunye ọbụla kere gị n'oge malite n'oge ọgwụgwụ kama anyị onwe anyị gwa anọkwa ahụ ofu ụbọchị anyị ga-anwụ n'ezie kama ma akpọ na ogbu gị na-anọgide ebe mgbe ebighị ebi ọ bụ ya mere anyị ji were gị n'anya isi anyị wee na-asị nna nke dị nsọ bịa ka iwe gosi anyị Biafra na ndụ m abụghị n'ọnwụ bịa ka iwe na-ekebe gị na amara gị wee kpuchiri anyị ka uwe bịa ka iwe zọpụta ndị nke gị bịa ka iwe mee ka Biafra wee bịa ka anyị na-ewetụta na nsọpụrụ na ịja mma site n'aha gị onye bụ Chukwu nke abịa ma
Welcome. Thank you for joining us wherever you're joining from. I urge you to like and share the program. You are welcome. As you join, invite someone else to join. This is our usual evening program. As you know, evening program is always a recap. We just do one or two things and then we call it a day. So since throughout today we've been talking about the plans of the Nigerian government against the Biafran people, the lies and the propaganda and blackmail and the sponsorship of criminals against the struggle. That is what we continue to talk about. And this evening we are talking about the truth they fear. That is the truth we talk about all the time. That truth they fear, that truth they don't want to hear. We will continue to point it out, we will continue to say it, we will continue to shout it. Human rights abuse, silent war on Biafra. The human rights abuse has increased more than ever before. As we speak, a lot of our brothers and sisters are losing their life in the hand of the Nigerian terrorist military. The fight is on different fronts. We are fighting the terrorists, we are fighting the Nigerian terrorist group, we are fighting the saboteurs, we are fighting the evil caliphate. So there is war everywhere in Biafra land. And the war is between the good and the bad, between the Nigerian government and the Biafra people. And they have divided it on different fronts. The Nigerian government have recruited the terrorists, Miyetti Allah, the Fulani terrorists, to fight on one front. On the other front, they are fighting in uniform. The same terrorists. The new front they open today now is to recruit our own brothers and sisters to join them in fighting against the restoration of Biafra. That is the new phase they opened. They have succeeded in recruiting Biafrans. They have recruited, more especially Igbo Biafrans, to join them in the attack against the restoration of Biafra. We can see a lot of them online today, gossiping and talking rubbish online. We see a lot of them. Many of them are coming today to the city, both the ones that are pretending before to be sympathizers of the struggle. The ones that are pretending to be sympathizers today, what are they doing? They have joined Nigerian government to continue to change the narrative. Some of them today, they don't even talk about the attack of the terrorists again. They want to change the picture and make it a war between Biafrans and Biafrans. And this is Nigeria agenda. This Nigeria agenda, today, there are people that are broadcasting this Nigeria agenda. Igbo people. They gave them that agenda to broadcast. That is why when you see Nneka Chimezie, the only thing she talks about today is war between Igbos. Igbo war, it is Igbos against Igbo. This is the woman who started talking about Nigerian government atrocities in Biafra land. Today, she is exonerating Nigerian government from all the atrocities. That is how you know them. Today, she is by herself exonerating Nigerian government and pushing herself forward. But we will not be silent. Those things they don't want to say, we are saying that is why they are attacking on my channel. Now they suspend my Twitter account. They have suspended my Twitter account. I cannot go into, I cannot post anything on Twitter again. That is the attack. And I know where the attack is coming. The attack is not even coming from the Janjaweed. The attack is coming from people, my fellow Igbo people, just because we expose them. More especially the group of this the Department of Sabotua, you know, that's what they are good in. The DOS, they are very good in propaganda, blackmail, lies, and attack. That's how they're attacking all our platforms. They have succeeded in blocking my Twitter account. My Twitter account was suspended. On Monday, I was supposed to do a program for Mazi Sam. I could not log into the program. I couldn't come in because I was blocked. I was bad. I couldn't come in. That is how bad it is. But no matter their propaganda, no matter their blackmail and their lies, we will continue to do what we have to do to make sure that our voice is being heard. We will continue to do everything humanly possible to make sure that our voice is heard. We are not going to stop. Never, ever. I'm not going to stop. If they like, they can push all their propaganda. If they like, they can attack every platform with them. I will continue to speak. And this is the new war that we are fighting. Nigerian government recruiting Biafran people to fight themselves. Today, you see a Biafran doing the work of the Janjaweed for them. That's what they're doing. Go online, they are the ones now attacking Mazen Nandekan. The Janjaweed don't care anymore. Nigerian government is not talking about it. But the people today that are busy destroying every single thing that we have built, they are destroying every legacy Mazen Nandekan left. Everything that Mazen Sam has done, it is the Biafran people today that are destroying it. By themselves. Recruited by Nigerian government. They are not even ashamed. You know, before, saboteurs used to hide in secret. Before, saboteurs used to pretend. They pretend, you will not know. Sometimes, even when you catch them, they deny. But these days, the kind of saboteurs we have these days, they don't pretend. They will tell you they did it, and they continue to do it. They don't pretend. The kind of saboteurs we have today, they don't pretend. Not even one bit. That is how bad it has become. And for some of you who don't know how serious it is, the earlier you know how serious this problem is, the better for you. The earlier you understand and know how serious this problem is, the better for all of us. Because what is happening and what we are seeing today is a very, very dangerous thing that we are seeing. A very dangerous thing is happening. And the more you continue to pretend that you will not see it, the end is going to be very bad. The end is going to be very bad. Except we learn our lesson now and do what we are supposed to do. If we don't, the end is going to be very bad. I bet you take it to the bank. Because the greatest war to fight is in-house war. It is going to be terrible, very terrible. It is already terrible. It is already terrible. And why it is disturbing is that today, those who are the face of the struggle, who are supposed to be there to make things happen, they are not there. They are not around. And because of that, the enemy have taken that advantage to work overtime. So wherever you are watching from, I urge you to do your own part. That little thing you know you can do, continue to do it. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. I will continue to try as much as I can to come here, remind you of what you're supposed to do. It is left for you to do it. If you refuse to do it, it is up to you. Nobody's going to force you against your will. The most important thing and the fact that I know is that Nigeria has ended. There is nothing. Nobody can redeem Nigeria. Forget about those who are pretending to do this or that. You cannot redeem Nigeria. And I will prove it by you by the videos I play every day from their conventional. The only reason I play videos from Nigerian conventional media is to prove to you that the zoo has gone. To show you that Nigeria is irredeemable. It has gone. There is nothing you can do to change the situation. The more you try to change it, the more you destroy yourself and you destroy everything that started your way. So don't even dream and say you want to change anything or you want to make it. No, because you cannot. The more you try, the more you destroy your own self, the more you expose yourself to danger. Self-determination is the only way out. Break up, peaceful breakup. Only that can save the life of ordinary people. If Nigeria doesn't break up peacefully, it is going to break up in a very, very bad way. It is going to be very bloody. We don't pray for that. And that is why we are talking today, because a time will come when we will not talk. A time will come when there will be no time for you to come online and speak. Now that we have the time, we are talking. And we just pray that the world should listen. It's unfortunate that at this time, when something is supposed to be done, that another United States is having something else in their hand. Donald J. Trump is having another stress in his hand. So it's almost become very difficult for him to handle the two at the same time. And I know that intentionally there are people who are making sure that that burden remains there so that Nigeria issue will not be discussed. The British will especially. The people who are benefiting from Nigeria. They don't want it to be discussed. So they allow every evil to continue to happen. But I tell you, we continue to expose them. And we, as long as we are here, we will continue to expose all their evil deeds. We will continue to expose all their plans. We will never allow you to sleep. We will never allow their plan to slip off. We will continue to expose them every day, every night, every evening. Any opportunity we have, we will come here and expose their evil.
Welcome back, and you're still watching VOP.
That is what we will do.
Nigeria is speaking.
We will continue to expose them. So this evening, as always, I'm going to take you to their conventional media. Let us go there and see what we can get from them today to show the world what they are up to make sure that they're able to hide under any disguise. As they are hiding, we will continue to expose them and make sure that we bust their bubbles. So let us listen to this and hear what information they have got today.
Under a fresh wave of deadly attacks as armed bandits and terrorists have struck on many soldiers and civilians dead and have lost scores of people. In Kwara State, heavily armed assailants stormed the community, killing military personnel and residents, while in another shocking incident, a traditional was kidnapped with a staggering 400 million naira ransom. The violence also extended to waterways in South, where gunmen abducted 16 passengers after killing a driver, underscoring the growing reach of criminal networks across land and sea. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Air Force have intensified clearance operations in Borno, Yobe, and Kogi, arresting suspected smugglers and logistic couriers linked to insurgents. The Chief of Defense Staff visited Zamfara on an operational tour, stressing that terrorists must be treated as an existential threat to the nation. We have been joined this morning to discuss this by Prince Francis Chilaka, who is a political and public affairs analyst and commentator. Also here in the studio, we have Mr. Elimehele, is a political and public affairs analyst and commentator. Also virtually we've also been joined by Dr. Dixon Ostani, who is an internationally certified anti-terrorism specialist and a global security analyst. From our upper studio, next I will be joined by Dr. Also Ekisiobi, is a lecturer at the University. Mr. Elvis, good morning. Thank you so much. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Very well, thank you. Let's just start. I mean, this is one of the many cases we witnessed. This is not new. Well, where exactly are we leading, and do you think that this joint operation being announced by the Navy and the Air Force will yield any positive results?
Yeah, it's also if sincerity is actually enhanced. That's the I was reading a piece where I saw that even the budget of the armed forces, security budget, that even they don't even release to them as expected. And sometimes, most of the time, we keep saying that these insurgents looks more sophisticatedly armed than Nigeria armed forces, which is actually the truth. So, if Nigeria government is sincere and actually they want this war to be won as expected, they know what to do. So all this one that you see, even military bases are not being overthrown by insurgents. These are people we ordinarily would have described as black eye, not having military training. But they are now perfected the art of being able to overrun military bases. That shows that before this act are carried out, they have modes within the armed forces who have actually given them a good inventory of what they have within their bases. So this is the quantity of arms they have, and this is the sophistication of the arm, and this is the number of personnel on ground. So if this message gets to them, they plan their strategy. Okay, this is what you said they have, and if we now go with number of men, I'll go with this number of men, we're able to overrun them. That's why we have been seeing them coming out successful against Nigerian forces. So government has to be sincere to this tax that we have on them. Look at 400 million. You know what 400 million for a ransom from somebody? And where are we getting to? Are we talking about 400,000? And at the end of the day, even when the ransom is paid, the government will come and deny that there was no ransom. But the government will do the next thing. Take this guy morale high, give them the necessary weapon, and then we can see what the hard result is going to come out. We can't continue, now reading the news of insurgents in the papers every day. It's like we are boosting their morale to begin to discuss them. These are security matters that we don't even need to discuss the way we now discuss them in Nigeria because the government has made the responsibility to do what is expected of them. That's just the issue here.
All right, thank you. Prince, let's have your take on this because it appears as though the North Central is now the hope for jihadist expansion. What exactly are we missing or not getting right at this point?
You know, when the American government, when Donald Trump said complacent, a lot of Nigerians came out and said, "Oh, Nigeria is a sovereign state." Suddenly, I saw people who have been in government for years who didn't add value to the country, doing video, doing podcasts, talking about sovereignty of Nigeria. But suddenly, I'm not also noticing now that these people have taken it. They're no longer talking, they're not coming out. Talk about the sovereignty anymore. Well, all American soldiers in Nigeria, there's about 200 of them, since February. And we're told that they have to gather data, intel, and all of that. Why would this intel gathering come useful to Nigeria? Is it when all the Nigerian people are killed? So, we need to understand. This insurgent. And the person said something that really should be said, look, do we even know the difference? But the meaning of Boko Haram, yes, I don't like Western, but is that really what they stand for? That Boko Haram is not about jihadists. And this person is a highly placed family. And he says, check the mode of it. They arrest, collect ransom. They attack the village, they wipe it out. They push people that own the ancestral land into what? Item camps. If this government is sincere about fighting insurgents, don't you think that they should start by taking out those who are staying in those ancestral homes? It will pass a big message. When you have your ministers and your army chiefs coming to tell you all manner of gibberish, how can you openly, publicly tell the citizens of this country that you have rehabilitated 700 and something repentant? Suddenly, repentance on being repentant has become part of our culture. But in our constitution, nobody talks about the Bible, nobody talks about Christianity. And you think that this thing will manage the way we're going? I say this with all sense of responsibility. Those of us in the South think all is well. Honestly, all is not well. Because the pot on the fire is someone, and it will affect every one of us.
Oh well, that's quite scary, a scary picture that you painted there. And well, let's get some of the news again now. Let's go to Benin where we have Marcel. Welcome to the conversation. Good morning to you. Well, good to have you guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to brother. Yeah.
All right, then good to have you join us. Good to have you join the conversation. And talking about insecurity, I know it's probably for lots of Nigerians. But let's look at one of the stories in the dailies today is that the Chief of Defense Staff has given marching orders, as it were, to the military, those on the 12th Brigade of the Department, Operation Bansen Gamma. They've been given ultimatum to ensure that bandits are taken out. You know, they've been told to deal with them, deal with the bandits. Now, while the Chief of Defense Staff, CDS, is giving the 12th Brigade marching orders, Boko Haram, on the other hand, are giving the federal government a 72-hour ultimatum to meet their demands or lose 416 captives forever. How do you do that as a Nigerian?
Thank you very much. I will react as a Nigerian who has spent better part of his years on earth in Nigeria, who understands the policies of government, who understands the actions of government, who also understands how government reacts at different times. That is that this is not today we are hearing different orders or state of emergency. It's not the first time at all. I think my own greatest concern is what comes out of all these orders of sovereignty. Nothing is changing. And for me, you cannot continue to use this strategy for a particular fight and you are not winning that fight and you continue. For me, the Nigerian government just trying to give us the narrative that will keep us busy for some time. Okay, let them know that. But we are not getting results. And Nigerians are tired of hearing marching orders, state of emergency. All Nigerians want now are results. Recall when we got the new Minister of Defense, there was this argument that yes, based on his experience, they will come out with this. But if you look at what has been going on for the past 2 months, so to say, it clearly shows that the Nigerian government, with due apologies to our president, is no longer in charge of the country. His major focus now is for 2027. And please, if you're hearing me now, please know that if there is no Nigeria by 2027, which country is it going to govern? So for me, the government is not prepared at all. That is why I can see a set and a significant fraction of our population threatening a country that claims to be sovereign, giving them 24 hours that if you are unable to grant them their pay ransom to them, that they will go otherwise. And the government don't feel that, oh, it is normal, and so on. And then of the day now, you keep, giving them the go ahead to do whatever they want to do. The question is, the so-called technology that is going to have imported to the country, the issue of restriction of the SIM card, linking it up to your BVN and to your and many more. What have we told that? Is that when they go for like that conference of security, when they just go there just to go and copy and come and face Nigeria, without actually put in place mechanism, to address this crisis. For me, it is so unfortunate and Nigerians are gradually losing hope. If you look at the dailies today, if you randomly think about 10 dailies, you realize that 7 of those dailies are on issues of security.
No, dude, let me butt in. Let me butt in on this point because you're talking about the government. Because dealing with the issue of insecurity. Because you heard the president of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, saying that, look, the president, just wait a while. 2 weeks after elections, insecurity you will not hear of attacks. No bombings, no attacks anywhere, because this is all politics. They are trying to make you look bad. They're saying that this man is good on all fronts, and they just want to make you look bad. Do you think that mindset could be why, we are having this lackadaisical approach, as some would say, towards dealing with insecurity?
The same president is saying that it is. And for me, as a close watcher of Nigerian politics and governance procedures, these are the kind of things we expect from them. When you were voted in 2023, you promised us that every country will be safe. Farmers will be able to go to their farmlands. There will be safety, there will be security, there will be food, there will be trade, there will be education for everybody, improvement in different areas. And it was based on that, so to say, companies went out to vote for them. And now that the president is now telling us that after election, it's very, very shameful. If they're to be in a community that is saying that we know what is right. The people to demand for investigation. How can you tell them, let them be killing us? And 2 weeks after the election, or maybe after swearing in, and all to be over. For me, it's just unfortunate.
Dr.
Let us compare this now. The government knows what is happening.
The government knows what is happening.
Yes, they know what is happening.
All right, Doctor.
Because the form, it's a game. Because there is no reason you are the head of the family. You have the home, you have the wife, you have the
exactly the point.
And every day one of your
exactly the question I want to ask. Dr. Jude, we all know what the problem is. Nigeria has been enveloped by insecurity. As a matter of fact, we started from the northeast to the northwest, now north central. It's like a theater of war, and the southwest is also encroaching into the southwest. The southeast is not spared, even the south side. So, as a matter of fact, the entire country is enveloped by insecurity. You said, as the head of the family, I want to put you on the spot. I know you've not run for presidency, but let's assume that you are president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. What are the immediate steps you take to fight terrorism, insecurity, and not?
We thank you very much. And maybe with this your question, I might decide to consider running for the presidency if I'm able to get the fund for people like you to support me, because run for presidency in Nigeria is not a game that you can just use your savings or your salary to go and do. It's not possible. I hope you get people to support me, but definitely some of us will have to come to pass. But then what we need to do, we have been engaging in different strategies and it's not working. Now in those states, the government to say the people can't be involved in security architecture to say that for in Nigeria now for the past 10 years, different strategy, different ministers, and it's not working. If I to be the president, right, I'll just come sincerely compared to Nigeria. Sorry, I have told you people in this area, let us brainstorm on what we need to do. Arising from that sincere conversation, not the case whereby they invite people who are protected by policemen or soldiers to the conference. Invite those who are actually suffering that come, fine, you guys should go, let us discuss how to move forward. And I tell you this, if the government decides to map out those areas, security mapping, of those areas where you have this bank, I tell everybody, please, for the next 2 or 3 months, there's going to be a lot of area bombing on the air, on the land. Mobilize your soldiers, go to the Air Force, the Navy, empower them and encourage them. We must take this. So that is the price we need to pay. You have, when that is going on, you have, the financial institutions. These funds normally go to credit transfer. Call the manager. Sorry, if I tell you discover that your account is being used to transfer funds for kidnapping or for anything at all, you will be liable. There might be some stringent penalties for you. Everybody take the bull by the arm. The president told the governor.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian. I will no longer be going to my own security vehicle. Working on the streets alone. They will now know that there is sincere commitment. But in the case whereby the president comes to the government and what will be the state, that what will be the state, and they will go.
Well, thank you very much. Let's bring the conversation to the studio. Well, thank you for your contribution. Thank you. Prince Francis Chilaka, 72 hours. Bandits telling the federal government of Nigeria, meet our demands or you will lose 416 captives forever. Now, we understand that some people are also being killed in captivity, even after ransom has been paid.
You know the interesting part of this whole thing is that as we sit here, if we begin to throw aspersions, I'm sure in less than 2 minutes we'll be here to be domestic violence. They'll be able to track us.
Because they have intelligence.
Sometime last week, these bandits posted a video of this woman and children. It was a very, very sad video. One would have expected that by now, DSS should have gotten to the source of that video that was circulated.
But government has said they can't just swoop in on this guy because
I'm not talking about swooping
as a shield.
No, I'm not talking about swooping. I'm talking about, first of all, identifying the location. You don't swoop into something you don't know.
They said they don't know where.
No, I mean, but if government knows, they would have said they know. You see, this whole thing is like police and TK. You know, when we're growing up, how do they call police and TK? You know. But you see, where this thing, it's my imagination is that before now, we've heard that some local governments in some northern states are being controlled by bandits. And the governors of these states have come out to say it is not true. But I'm beginning to think that there's a lot of truth in it. And I'll tell you why. I'll take Borno State for example. The governor said that the market that was owned was closed down 5 years ago. If that market was closed down 5 years ago, is the governor trying to tell Nigerians that he is not aware that some form of trading is going on in that market? And if he's aware, what did he do between that period? The simple answer is that that area, if you ask me, is an area controlled by bandits. If what you're saying is correct, then it means that it's not in charge. It means that our governors are not in charge of their states. They are only in charge of the monetary aspect of their states, not in charge of the lives and property of the state.
Prince, I want to ask you a question. I'm happy that you brought this issue of governors and states. I forget what he would do. You know, he said he was going to come more like a tampon and this sort of area of money and all of that. We might have tried all of this, in the past, it's not working. Now, talking about the governors not being, you recall that the issue of state police has been, we've been going back and forth. I mean, in the past 3 weeks, it was everywhere. Oh, state police, state police. It was the same Zulu, governor of Borno State, that said, well, Nigeria is not yet ripe for state policy. When he was asked, he said, well, because if you get to that level, some ethnic groups are going to be killed in some states, and nothing will happen because apparently the governor will be in charge of that state. What is your take on state policing? And do you think that state policing can help us solve the problem of insecurity?
Okay, to be honest with you, we're not right for state policing.
We are not right for state
policing because of the kind of politics we play in this country. Politics of tribe, politics of religion, politics of ethnicity. I'm giving a model, and I think the government should take it out.
Please help us.
If you are talking about embracing state police now, what are you doing with the current federal police?
What we are doing with the federal police, I'm sorry, but what we are doing with the federal police is that some terrorist bandits were captured in parts of the state and taken to a police station in the night. Before the villagers got back to that same police station, others had come from above that they should let go.
That's a different angle I'm coming from. You're talking about the state police. I'm the federal police.
Apparently, because the DPO or the state police commissioner from that state happens to be someone that has sympathy, for the terrorists and probably other from
you're going to my direction.
Okay.
Or you're doing corner one.
No, I mean, okay.
Simple. If you see, I'm sure you are aware of a time in this country we had a late soldier as the IG of police. Am I right? And I'm sure you know how he managed it. It will tell you there is no crime that will be committed within a division that the police will not promote it. But you have a federal police, and we're thinking about embracing the state police. The first step in testing the waters is to use the federal police as an experiment. What do I mean by that? In Lagos today, you have the Commissioner of Police from Lagos. He's a Lagosian. He understands the terrain. He understands the culture of the people. He understands the tradition. He understands the new category of Lagos. So it's going to be easy for him to be able to watch police leaders. Now imagine you bring somebody all the way from Sokoto to become national police in Lagos. Do you think he will achieve the same milestone as the man from the state?
That is one of the anathema.
So that's what I'm saying, that let us use the federal as an example. Use it as an experiment. In every state, put somebody from that state as commissioner of police.
All right then. Well, let's bring Mr. Elvis Elibehele into the conversation again. Now that we're talking about state police, state policing, some would say it should take a while to train them. You know, it should take like a year. That should be recruited. We will probably have experience. And we're talking about the numbers. I'd like for you to speak to what the president, the instruction the president gave sometime last year, imposing a state of emergency on insecurity, or security, how you think that has panned out, and also the issue of the issue of insecurity we have with bandits and terrorism. Is that something? Oh, I'm talking about the armed forces now. Fortifying the armed forces. You know, do we have it's
the level of insecurity in the nation like that, not the level of not just the type of Nigeria police that we have on the road. That really is quite different from what we to confront this insecurity we have. Even when we are not seeing military inside, talking about Nigeria police that are on the road, looking for people that can come with this money and very assistive. They are already on the road, taking what they know how to do. This situation is far more than them. I think what we should be looking at, like Prince was saying, even if I'm not subscribing to state police as it is, really, because I know the politician will patronize it. Taking an example from what we even see in Lagos here now, we have not even gotten state police. Ordinarily, last month in Lagos here now, we know what we are facing. Let's face it. And then let's even look at it. Is there any state now that doesn't even have a vigilante group? They call it different names, different states. What is supposed to be the job of this vigilante or whatever name we give them? Is to assist the federal police to gather everything, to get to the level where these people are. Good. If this one can be polished to a level, sometimes you give them uniform and give them gun. You know how Nigerians are when they feel that, oh, I'm on top of you. I saw a contemporary police man checking papers. Paper papers. Who are supposed to be like style drivers to can afford them. Because he's in the midst of some other Nigerian police officer, he's checking papers and he's even doing as if he's your guy in that team. Can you imagine that? So now bring it down. Is everybody going to be a uniform person in this nation? They're going to bring in their brothers, bring in their thugs, bring in those that are loyal to them. What we are seeing now is just a child's play. If we talk of state police and with the level of Nigerian politicians, I remember we are supposed to be in a democratic system of government where election will come every 4 years. Let me tell you, those state police are going to be the one that will be seen carrying ballot process now. No longer the stocks.
In essence, what you're saying is there is no way forward. If it's combating it using state policing, there's no way forward.
Absolutely.
Well, there is no way forward.
Yeah, the way forward. I remember during IBB time, there was a system he did. He started transferring native of every local government as DP of the local government. IBB did it. Yes. I remember one of my uncles was transferred down to my local government headquarters. And the time when he came, you know what he did? He started moving from community to community. I am your son. I have been brought home to come and assist in coming crime. You understand? I saw things work. In fact, I even saw him coming to meet the ladies that so many people matters were no longer going to the police station. Solve this one at that Guinness Queen level. Don't bring every matter to the police station. Let's deal with those ones that are very paramount. If anybody steals and he needed to be punished, that person should be brought to the police station. Crime reduced. People will not begin to be ashamed that I don't want to be associated with going to start washing my dirty linen in the public in the police station. He came and was going around villages and was lecturing. Can't you try something of that nature? DPOs from various local government. Let the person from that local government become a DPO. Let the person from that state become a police commissioner. I gave an analogy about Anini last week here. How Pilot Science was able to come to Benin and capture Anini. Why did you think he succeeded? Because he's a son of the soil. And he came and the information was given to him that the person that is even making Anini to believe that he's a successful person is even also a son of the soil. It was easy. When such persons come, he created a way to greet the Oba. I don't like this word. I'm saying this is my mission of being here. Every traditional ruler, every local government here in Nigeria has a traditional ruler. And there's no local government here that doesn't have that officer that can be a DPO in that local government. Can't we try that?
Elvis and Francis, as we talk about this state policy, let's also understand that the state policy is not going to technically kill the federal police. The federal police will be there running alongside the state police.
No, we have not said but we are going to be like our brother, the federal police. And the federal police very well. Can you give them pass money to what they do on the road?
Because what is the problem?
Instead of the work,
what is the problem?
It's a family thing. It's a family thing.
No, the problem we have here seems to be ordered from above.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Okay, no more.
Have you ever had an encounter with last man?
With last man?
Yes.
No.
Have you driven your car and your car gets
things down the way?
And last man come out and you
No.
they behave like mad dogs. If nobody wants to say it, I'll say it.
Okay, they behave like mad dogs because it's a state agent.
Because they see, when your car breaks down, it is not your own doing. What you expect the security personnel to do is to assist. These guys will drive your car with you.
Exactly, man.
So that is if you have
that because it's a state agent.
what we are saying is that because it's a state thing, they're behaving like that. Imagine giving them a full power.
Okay, have you encountered FRAs in Federal Road Safety Program?
Some of them are very reasonable. If your car breaks down on the road, FRAs will not
Let's also be fair. There are instances where national officials have helped people to purchase fuel. If that's the issue, that's the reason the car broke down. They've also helped in pushing the car off the road and then protecting the individual up until, rescue comes. So there are instances like that, documented instances like that. So it's not all.
Let us not paint this thing. Let us not paint it as if it is something that is painted. Let us say I have a lot of experience.
We are not saying in total that everybody there is
bad,
but we are talking about majority of them.
Exactly my question. Do you think they are overzealous because it's a state agent?
Yes, because they are closer to the person who put them here.
Okay, so you don't see federal police do the same thing.
Federal police do the same thing, but federal police, because of the widespread, you can be a federal police from Lagos State and you'll be posted to Zamfara State. Your power is little down to some extent. Because you are not operating in Zamfara, you are not from Zamfara State. You can be a federal police and be posted to Bauchi State from Lagos State.
The way you behave there is not the way you behave there.
Will be different. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the federal police, I'm not saying they should not be there. They may get, but post the head of commissioner like people to their respective local governments and states.
The insecurity that we're going through right now, the increase in it, and the CDS giving marching orders.
Let's just say,
marching orders.
Let us forget everything. Let us forget everything about marching orders. We've had a lot of marching orders, not as much as. You see, for me, I don't know how people take, and I don't know how people feel when the foreign member gets killed. Not not by an accident, by some set of people who suddenly believe that because they are carrying arms, they can do and undo. And then when it happens, government will now start saying, we are mobilizing troops to go to that area. What are the troops going to do? Why is government continuously being, reactive rather than proactive?
That's a big question. Why is government reactive rather than being proactive? Let's have, I'll consider that your final line on this one. Let's quickly go back to Jude now. Let's have your final thoughts on this issue. It would do a lot of good if it's tailored towards some sort of solution.
Last thought would be rather relevant security agencies in the country should go back and review their mandates. The DSS, the police, the army, they have mandates as per what they're expected to do. As a classroom teacher, I'm expected to teach, I'm expected to conduct research, I'm expected to be involved in community services. So each of them to go ahead and do it. And again, relevant, there are infrastructure, technology, there are the AI coming into place. Let Nigerian government confirm they can use that to eventually solve the issue of insecurity. And again, let Nigerians begin to see the highest level of sincerity on the part of government, not to be sending out condolence messages or promising to pay for departed souls, paying for their burial or what I think of their kids, will not in any way bring them back to life. And let them realize that if there's no Nigeria, 2027 election will not be taken. Let them begin to do the needful, interact with the people, and come up with better strategies like what I recommended before to get this done. Anybody involved, directly or indirectly, or have benefited from anything that has to do with insurgency in the country, to be brought to and again, let the government functionaries go and examine their conscience. They know what is happening. You can't be there on the family that I said before, and your child is misbehaving.
Well, thank you very much, Jude Oblasen. Thank you for your contribution. This would be a good place to wrap up this conversation. But let me just put this out.
We will continue to bring their update for them to expose themselves. When we say Nigeria is no longer working, it is not just a propaganda. We are not just saying it because we want to say it. This is a fact, an undeniable fact that Nigeria is irredeemable. So that is why we continue to bring you update from their own media. And the update from their own media confirm everything we are saying. So no matter how they continue to pretend, the whole world is watching. And the Biafran people are standing their ground. All we want is the disintegration of Nigeria, peaceful disintegration of Nigeria. Allow us to go our separate ways. Let everybody be on their own. That is all we ask. Let everybody be on their own. And that is the only thing that could solve the problem of the zoo. Anything short of that, the problem will remain the way it is, even if it get worse. So we will continue to ask for the best thing to be done. We will all continue to ask for the right thing to be done. So the more they continue to pretend about all these things, the more evil will continue to happen. So we are going to go into one of their stations again, Arise, and we're going to bring Arise TV and see what information they have on Arise. After the Arise TV update, then we can end it there to come back tomorrow and continue. So let us go to Arise and see what they have for us. Let's see what they have, because we must continue to follow them.
13-count charge at the Federal High Court in Abuja against a retired Major General, a retired naval captain, a serving police inspector, and 3 others on allegations of a coup to oust President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So here's what we know. They're scheduled to be arraigned on Wednesday before Justice Joyce Abdul Malik and filed by the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation. The charges accuse them of conspiracy to undermine the Nigerian state, failure to report planned treasonable acts, and participation in terrorism-related activities. All defendants are expected to appear in court for arraignment tomorrow, so we'll be sure to continue watching that story very closely and these allegations of a coup to oust the president. But let's now begin what's trending, where we're getting a lot of reactions and comments in the thousands pouring into the sudden statement from the INEC chairman from INEC yesterday, declaring that after a thorough investigation, they found that the account of the chairman at Joash Amupitan and all posts associated with it were, quote, forensically unverifiable. Now, according to a 6-page signed by Amupitan's chief press secretary, Adedayo Oketola, INEC commissioned an independent expert to pursue this digital investigation. This expert, who at this moment has not been publicly named, used data, archives, intelligence to investigate an alleged X account linked to Amupitan. Remember, this is all rooted in this picture you see on your screen, this post, which started trending earlier this month, alleging that Amupitan was behind an @Joash Amupitan account that made the pro-APC comment that victory is sure in response to another user. But the big takeaway from all of this is that INEC appears to be speaking incredibly definitively here. I'll just pull out one portion from their statement where they say, the forensic evidence is comprehensive, multi-sourced, and unambiguous. The posts attributed to Professor Amupitan on X are fabricated. The account is a clear case of impersonation, and the surrounding activity points to a coordinated disinformation effort intended to manipulate public perception. But are Nigerians really buying this? We'll go to X to find out. Emerald says, this is thoroughly embarrassing. INEC is an institution of the state, should not be providing a defense for the actions of its chairman as a private citizen. The chairman is an INEC, and vice versa. If the chairman cares about his integrity and the sacredness of the institution he leads, he should personally defend himself. The institution shouldn't be seen to take sides. INEC is bigger than Amupitan. Secondly, the poorly crafted findings fail the basic tenet of justice, which says you cannot be a judge in your own case. Curiously, INEC has arrogated to itself the investigator and the judge. If the commission is interested in salvaging its already damaged reputation, it should call for an open and independent inquiry. I want to assume this post isn't meant for sensible Nigerians, and I'll take one more reaction before coming to you, Dr. Abati, and maybe Rufai. He's laughing.
Because when I put out that post, maybe they think we are not sensible. I'm going to read very big. I need to talk. I need to read with bottles.
Absolutely. We'll take one more reaction before
senselessness.
Bringing it to the table. Let's go to Itari real quick, who says, in summary, you basically investigated your own case. That is, you're a judge in your own case. This is an insult to the intelligence of Nigerians. At ICPC Nigeria, if this is within your jurisdiction, investigate it or recommend it to the relevant agency. We need to build strong institutions, no sacred cows. Dr. Abati, Rufai, your takes, and then Rufai, I'll come to you.
I'd like to jump on this. So let me read some of the rebuttals. The impossible 30 minutes claim overreaches, between an alleged reply and original post. Anyways, you'll be able to debunk that there's a full video. And you see, what INEC doesn't know is that you're dealing with the wrong generation, because this generation is bloody smart. There's a full video of the caption, which you already have, that shows that the initial tweet was made at that time, and the reply was made after the initial tweet. All right. So secondly, the Wayback Machine argument is methodologically wrong, because they said they went to source 4 with a Wayback Machine. There's also a claim that if you are not a popular figure on Wayback Machine, Twitter did not need to save your data. Zero capture of Amukuja does not prove the account never existed, because they are claiming Wayback Machine. And that's why, see, whoever the forensic expert INEC contacted should be able to come out. That person will lose his shirts. Internet archive does not systematically crawl personal X file. Absence of capture is the norm for most genuine accounts. Any practicing OSINT researcher knows this. And this is from, Activism about today. He works with Dabuwa, Dabuwa, the Premium Times fact checking. He's a Chevening fellow and everything. These are people that work in this ecosystem. Remember, this is what I went to do in Germany. public fake news and everything. I was taking courses in University of Leipzig on this. That was what I went to do for a whole week. All right. So when they are saying impersonation, the whole BVN finding is also deflected rather than explained. The statement admits that the phone number returns, a picture of BVN query. Then pivots to say that the BVN record cannot establish social media ownership. This may be technically true, but it's not an answer. If the chairman verified phone numbers surfaces in connection with this account, then what is the alternative explanation? None is offered. Then they talk about the Sunday Vibe thing, that the handover is extraordinary and undocumented. The cybersecurity researcher acquired the exact disputed handle or the exact screenshot went viral. Then issue a disclaimer that INEC now cites as evidence requires documentation. Who is Koi Emirate and how was the handle reclaimed? Who was the disclaimer posted? None of these issues are answered. So, and that's why you see they've been able to put community notes around it. You see, this is not a case of there are two sides to a coin. No, this is a case of empirical data sets and empirical data forensics. See, if a forensic comes back and it's not empirical enough, we are the digital generation. We can see through it easily. And that's why, as it went up, community notes have been put, everybody has been debunking the argument. And that's why we are begging INEC for the sake of integrity. Subject this to an independent forensic body. You cannot say you contacted an independent forensic body and the report of the independent forensic body was written on your letterhead. And the independent forensic body was not named. No. We are saying this because I want the integrity of INEC. I want Amukuto to succeed. And we need to be able to clear the doubts because till today, we've not cleared the doubts of technical glitch of 2023 elections. You know what that means? You know what that means?
Okay, let me make a few foundational statements. Now, the job of the INEC chairman, if you look at Nigerian history, is a thankless job. Given the nature of elections, the contestations around it, and the very level of development with electoral management in the country. If you trace it from Eyoe Swan, who was the first NEC chairman in Nigeria, 1964 to 1966, and you take it to Michael Ani, to Ovie Whiskey. By the time of Ovie Whiskey, it was called Fedeco. After him, you had Ephraim Apata, and you had all the ones that came after. Atairu Jega, there was Professor Kwemuya at the time. There was Ofri Wosu. There was Atairu Jega. Then Professor Yakubu Mahmoud, and then now you have Josh Amukuto. If you trace it and you look at the tenure of each person, maybe it was perhaps Atairu Jega got away a bit lightly, perhaps because he presided over the 2011-2015 elections, 2015 being the first major election where you had this smooth democratic rollout to another transition. So by the nature of the job itself, it will attract controversy. The second point is that since ADC matter came up and the March 12 Court of Appeal judgment, which is going to come up today also at the Supreme Court, this same Professor Amukuto, who is the incumbent person, has been under fire from the ADC side. They have done Amukuto must go. They have done Occupy INEC offices. In fact, today, the youth wing, led by one Rufai, is organizing, protest. Yes, the youth wing leader is called Rufai. That's his name. No, but the name is Rufai. I will be factual and not be funny. They are organizing a protest in Abuja, in Abeokuta, and also in Jigawa today, starting from 8 a.m. So this is the background to it. Now, it was these same groups that came up with this narrative about how, Amukuto is partisan and all of that, and they provided what they consider to be the evidence, entirely, also including photo manipulations. Now, INEC has now said it got independent security cyber experts to look at all the allegations about email accounts and what Amukuto purportedly said.
They have now reported to us through their SA media to say that is not true. This is what the experts have said. I think it is legitimate for us to ask the question that who are these independent security experts? Let them come forward and say what they found with their own mouths. Let them not use INEC letterhead. That would be fair comment. If those people do not have the courage to come out and say we are the independent auditors of the claims, then of course we can raise further questions. But to say, this thing is wrong, this is a party that we support, I don't think that would be fair. Right. The other point to note is that as part of the emerging focus on INEC, there was also an allegation by Solomon Dalong, former Minister of Youth and Sports, I think, who said that he knew Professor Amukwito at the University of Jos, and that at the time Amukwito was dean, he manipulated the results of some 16 students for personal profit, and those students were graduated from the faculty under Amukwito. Now the Faculty of Law of the University of Jos has now come out to say that is not true. The president says they have done their own investigations. That is not true. So that's why, people who are reacting should not do so for partisan, political, rhetorical reasons. There must be an even-handed analysis of it. I will not say, this is the part that is right, that's not the part. Then we can raise questions. That's legitimate. Right. But to go beyond raising questions and asking for further clarification would be wrong, considering the fact that all of us are interested in one thing: free, fair, and credible election, and 2, the integrity of INEC, and 3, INEC making every effort to build trust and confidence in its processes.
Absolutely. And as you stated, it's so critical that the identity of the person, the independent investigator, is released at some point so we know exactly who we're dealing with. And as we talk about the importance of holding officials accountable, an old video from 2007, almost 20 years old, from the late President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua is still resonating today, as he suggests a bold anti-corruption plan necessary for a place like Nigeria. Bambai, let's take a look.
So the measures we are going to take already, apart from the right anti-corruption businesses and is to help corruption monitors. This is an instrument that we create which help people train. Monitors attached to public officials. We are going to begin first with the President, the Vice President, the ministers in the cabinet, the state governments, so that these monitors will be trained in the art of investigation. This is an extreme measure, but the situation in Nigeria actually demands this.
And, Vimbai, let's just take what we heard from, the late former President Yar'Adua in the context of everything that we've been discussing this morning, the importance of holding officials accountable and just how you see all of this coming together.
My goodness. When I watched this video, it was so profound for me because last week, I believe we heard from Aketi, and I think Dr. Abati was the one who used the statement, wisdom from the grave. And that's another instance of this, where we look at it and we say, the problems bedeviling Nigeria are not brand new. A lot of them are systemic. We've seen them surface and resurface time and time again. Dr. Abati, I love that you gave us the list of former INEC chairmen, just to show that each of them had, if you look into their history, each of them had their own share of controversy during their time, well, majority of them anyway. So what are we saying here? We're saying, are we moving forward? How is our system of public accountability? How has it been deepened? Let's take it in 2 parts. The first part is monitoring, because this particular video focused on monetary corruption. He talked about monitoring people in office. He talked about removing immunity. And this is coming on the day where we're receiving news that, the APC has shared its pre-election timetable with, the amounts required for those who want to contest for the presidency, 100 million, those for governorship, and so forth. And well, This their fees have not changed since the last election. However, they doubled since 2019. 2019, I think it was 45 million or so to become president. To buy a nomination for the presidency, for the office of the president. But you ask yourself, genuinely, how many people can afford this? And last time somebody was asked, the chairman of APC, Abdullahi Adamu, he said that if you don't have 100 million, you have no business being president. So it just goes to show you that our politics, our governance will always be Machiavellian. It will always be monetized. We talk about election period, mobilization. That's just a big word. Mobilization is a big word we use for, making sure that rice and money is shared to the people who vote. So until we demonetize what it takes to actually get to the most central offices in this land, then, we're going to be going around in circles, which takes us to the next point, which is that the electoral reform that we've continued to advocate for says that let's separate the appointment of the chairman of the Electoral Commission from the executive, because there will always be conflicts. There's no human being who is going to appoint somebody who they feel might work against them. And also, in our system, even if you want to have integrity, they talk about the pressures that exist in these offices, the powers and principalities that make sure that your integrity is continuously tested. Now, back to this issue around the social media accounts and so forth. It's a very fundamental issue. This forensic report has been shared, and I'm calling for a second one. Let's have different organizations, independent forensic experts, come and analyze the data around it. This is also coming in the climate that we've had 4,700 cyber attacks per week for the past few weeks here in Nigeria. Some have even affected CAC. 750 gigabytes worth of data was extracted because of a cyber attack. Our last election, there were questions around cyber attack, technical glitches, cyber security infrastructure. That's the first. The second is that if you're appointed to the role of INEC chairman, it beggars belief that your social media was not vetted at some point. It beggars belief that as you transition into this highly revered and important office, your social media was not cleared so that your communication is well controlled, well documented, and always in affiliation with the organization that you represent. You're liable for any other thing. If that scrubbing isn't done, you're liable. So all of these things didn't happen, which goes to show you, is INEC really serious about cybersecurity? This is an election in the digital age. So the cyber attacks, the threat to cyber, it's no longer about snatching ballots, and that's old school. But this new school form of elections that we're going into will be played out in the digital space. And unfortunately, the way this issue has been handled kind of erodes confidence in us feeling that, are we ready for a heavily digitized election? Not the election process itself. Right. Because electronic voting is very much possible. But I'm talking about the infrastructure around it. How prepared are the servers ready? Are all of the elements, are they actually ready for anything of this nature? However, two-factor authentication, as a roundup, two-factor authentication is a very simple thing. You forget your password, you put in your what is it called, your handle. It brings up all your information, and for me, this report confirmed email address and phone number, which in essence confirms that he is the owner of the account that was created in 2022, unless there was some type of prophetic impersonator who knew that Joash Amupitan will become important in 2026, and he prophetically created this account in 2022 and made comments in 2023.
Real quickly, in the spirit of public disclosure, there's one float that we are floating where Joe Amupitan was wearing a Tinubu cap. That's false. We're just saying for the sake of integrity that I know the picture was taken because that was a picture that was online where you had the tweet of George Amupitan, but it's an AI generated photo. It's false. There is no picture where George Amupitan was wearing the President Tinubu cap and the thing there. We just have to say that for public clarity.
Thank you for that clarification. So important, and such good points being made. The importance of just recognizing the fact that we're in a digital age and we need to act accordingly. But let's now take a closer look at the African Democratic Congress, with outrage online after a video started circulating on Monday showing President Tinubu's Chief of Staff, Femi Gbajabiamila, being seen and heard encouraging House of Reps member Leke Abejide to, quote, stay in the ADC and scatter them. Now, the president's chief of staff made these comments while speaking at Abijide's wife's 50th birthday in Abuja, but having a member of the ruling APC encourage an ADC member to stay in the party and scatter it is raising some eyebrows. Let's watch.
My charge to you is to see that same ADC. Fight them. Scatter them. Hold on to your party, ADC. Do not allow them. We like what you're doing. Nobody can go and take your party away from you. Party that you built for years with your sweat and your money and everything. So, continue. Good luck, your cause.
And Dr. Abati also on Monday, a clip of Nafiu Bala, a factional national chairman of the ADC, has confused a number of people on social media, with Bala responding in Hausa to a TV interview with questions asked in English. Now, Bala has already been critiqued for not being able to clearly express himself in English during public appearances. And in this latest interview, he responds in a mix of English and Hausa, admitting that English maybe isn't his father's language. Let's take a look.
Because you see, we have this enthusiasm to go to hate. But this, speaking of English is the big problem. So how will you bridge this gap to reach out to them? Because election is around the corner. Your party needs to figure candidates.
Since I was a Biafra, okay, ina cikin wannan system din shekara wajen 20 da wuce, kuma harkar party politics nake yi. Ina da experience yadda ake fitting da ba dan yau ba dan ni ba APC yau da baka, saboda dune duka ciku ya zo daga can turai ya fita ya bari ya dawo ya zo ne destroy data. Ni na jagoranta, ina da experience, kuma duk inda da je na kan communicating da waɗanda na je mu kuma su fahimce ni mu yi, to wannan ba wani abu bane.
There you have it. Those are the big, sort of ADC stories that we're seeing trending online. Dr. Abati, how are you seeing them? I mean, the comments from the president's chief of staff, along with these comments from Bala saying that, English isn't necessarily how he prefers to communicate.
Okay. First, let me start with Nafiu Bala Gombe. The last time that this same Nafiu Bala Gombe made a statement in Abuja, they had written a speech for him in English language. I don't think that speech was up to the paragraph. It was as if his dentition was going to fall out. He could, all the teeth in his mouth, they were clashing because he could not pronounce simple English words. And we advise on this table that politicians, persons in elected positions, they don't have to put themselves through that ordeal. Section 55 of the 1999 Constitution of Nigeria recognizes at least 3 major languages: Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba, and that ceteris paribus, you can also speak in your local dialects. We have over 400 languages in Nigeria. You can get somebody to translate for you. You will still be okay, to the extent that indigenous language is recognized, even if only 3 are listed in the Nigerian constitution. It would have been unimaginable to list over 400 languages. So I think the young man has taken the advice. And when he had the next encounter with the media and he was required to speak English, he just played safe. And he said he will speak in Hausa. You can then go and interpret it. After all, he said people like Kachuku and others in the ADC who speak English, they have created confusion with their English. But that he, an experienced man that cannot speak English, he would rather speak Hausa, which is the language that people will understand, to show that English is secondary. So I will not blame him, because we have been promoting people, respecting their level in this environment. Whether English is, if you understand speaking, you can speak pidgin. Because if you look at qualifications, even for the office of president, section 131, if you look at section 131 sub D, to even become the president of Nigeria, you don't need to know how to speak English. In fact, you don't need to have the school certificate qualification. They just need to show that you have attended one seminar, you have, attempted suicide, even if you failed, it's not a matter. That is the level where we are. So I praise Nafiu Balagombe for being very realistic, recognizing his own limitations and hiding under the Nigerian constitution to speak. If he likes tomorrow, he can come and speak another language, but let him get an interpreter so that the rest of us will know what he's saying. That's the level of our political development in terms of the capacity of the people that will put forward. As for Honorable Bajadi Amela, Yoruba surveys say they say they want to crucify you, they want to incinerate you, and then you go and carry petrol. You douse yourself with a gallon of petrol, and you go and sit near fire. And that will be self-inflicted injury if you get incinerated. Opponents of the ruling party have been saying it's the APC that is responsible for crisis in other political parties. I think Chief Olabode George, before we lost connection with him this morning, also alluded to that. And then you have a former Speaker of the House of Reps on the platform of APC and the Chief of Staff to the President going to a birthday party to go and tell Abejide, Honorable Abejide, representing Yagba Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, a two-term House member. And he says he's a multi-billion. He couldn't even pronounce multi-billionaire. He said multi-billions, multi-billions, which is part of what we're dealing with. And you go and tell him, stay in ADC and continue to cause problems. A man who is having a running battle with the likes of Dino Melai in Kogi West and also in Ijumu Forum. There's also a place they call Ijumu Forum. And he says, stay there. In fact, bring us Nafiu Balagombe, and we will encourage you people to cause problems in ADC. That kind of Freudian slip, if that's what it is, that kind of confession, open confession, the Honorable Chief of Staff has laid himself open to being adjudged guilty of allegations out there. Maybe in the future, we should understand the politics of these things. They need to be better and not confess so openly with his own mouth.
You see, now the head of the Nigerian people catch them. You see, we've been looking for empirical facts on this one. Now we have empirical facts. You know, when people have done something that they're so emboldened, they'll brag about it in public, and that was what happened. Now we know. You can also hear Abejide say he's worth multi-billions. I didn't hear that part.
I heard it.
Okay, you heard it. But the question we should now ask people like Abejide is, what multi-billions for doing what? How many companies does he have? What's the tax return? Balagombe, they were making excuses for that he can't speak English. That English not needed. Also has a diploma in legal and secretarial legal studies, and I think also law and Islamic studies or something. So the question is, how did he pass with that diploma?
Maybe he learned in Arabic.
So maybe he learned in Arabic, So you can see the kind of country we are in. You can see what has become of Nigeria. Right. So when the rain starts to beat us, you know what is happening. But you see, I've got word for people that are crushing the opposition. Hegemons don't last forever. You see, you might think you have the power today, and you have it all, but it will not last forever. And empires will come and they will go. And let me quickly wrap up by saying the story of a man called Vincent Ogbulafo. Vincent Ogbulafo, at the height of the power of the PDP, once said the PDP will rule for the next 60 years in this country. I had the opportunity to meet somebody that attended Vincent Ogbulafo's funeral and said, despite the funfair when Vincent Ogbulafo had the mics, he didn't see that funfair at the funeral. Please, be careful. Right. It will not last forever.
It won't. Everything is cyclical. But let's now shift gears from politics and turn our attention to a story breaking overnight, because right now, a TikTok user identified as Love Dushima is free After spending the night at the Zone 7 police station in Abuja, her detention was announced by the human rights lawyer Imibeye Effiong, who stated in a Monday post on X that Dushima honored a police investigation on Monday afternoon, but was immediately detained afterwards. Now, this comes after the company Bon Bread put in a complaint to the police about her for posting this video where she questioned the safety of their bread, alleging that it stayed fresh for 2 months, despite her not mentioning the company's name or showing the logo at any point in the video. While civic activist Randy Peters was there at the scene, expressing shock at this whole situation. Let's watch.
Normal issues way in other countries will help you to begin conversations on public safety and consumer protection. In Nigeria, it becomes a means to rather vilify people and then even begin to suppress them. There is Federal Consumer Protection Agency for this country, and those people are not supposed to come out and say it is okay, it is safe, Nigerians, you can consume it. Is that not what it is supposed to be? Is it supposed to be an opportunity for you to arrest people who complain about it? Share bread to stay for 3 months normally, I never heard that before.
By last Friday, the company's CEO put out her own video saying that Dushima's clip caused the brand reputational damage, but the police detaining her over a clip on bread is something that is sitting very badly with a lot of people. I mean, she's free now, but she did spend a night in jail over this TikTok video.
Yes, it's not a criminal offense to leave your review about a product. And I'm worried that, let it not become a trend, because if you remember, there was a lady who went through a harrowing, I don't think that case is over, over a tomato-based brand. She's still in a legal imbroglio with the owners of that brand, and they put her through a lot. Now, this lady didn't even mention the name of the brand, but the owner is saying, well, people in the comment section came and wrote that, oh, it's such and such brand of bread, and she was liking those comments, and based off of that, she says that this woman should be liable for any losses made to her business, which is absolutely absurd. It is an overreach, and it is an illegal weaponization of the police. So that is something that needs to be looked into. Secondly, I think that we need to figure out how the FCCPC, because I think that's the relevant agency, can begin to protect consumers. Yes, we see 1 or 2 actions taken there, and this is also for a case for NAFDAC because there's food involved. Because there are also other reports and documentaries circulating about expired foods that are repackaged. Business Day did an extensive documentary about how most of the food you find in the market that is unlabeled. So, for example, now they'll sell a lot of things in an unbranded plastic container that it would have come from a bigger package that was expired or that had defects or that had issues, and they just repackage it into something not labeled, and people are buying it. So generally, more needs to be done around consumer protection. However, it is not illegal for a consumer to give her review. She didn't defame the brand in any way. She didn't attack the brand in any way. And while I suppose the legal luminaries will have to debate as to whether her liking comments that mention the brand name amounts to her trying to slander the brand, whichever the way, it is not a criminal offense. So, I'm glad she's free, and I certainly hope that this can be concluded speedily.
Absolutely. I don't know, Dr. Bhatti, is there any kind of legal...
That's Monday time.
Okay. Okay, maybe next time. Well, let's end now on our good news story, where Nike has partnered with the British-Nigerian creative Grace Ladoja in a landmark collaboration inspired by Lagos and West African culture, marking a major moment where African storytelling, youth identity, and global sneaker intersect.
We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. There was a nation living in peace and unity. Yeah. They are people with love and harmony. Oh, yeah. They saw greatness rise up to its purity. With another people of different culture, Idean heritage, bias and oppressive. Oh, I see a nation from trigger of Africa, rising with strength and might and power. In due time, nobody gonna praise us. Rather, you all gonna embrace her. With your flag, with your flag, with your flag, with your flag. Oh, yeah. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home. Oh yeah, Biafra is our home. Oh, it's my home. Yeah, Biafra is our home.
I reminisce way back 1967. Death toll on the blood couldn't count them even. Mama screaming, child squealing, pops on the ground. 2.5 years, over 3 million's gone. Why? Cause we asked for our freedom, and we're going back to our sovereign kingdom. They shut us down when we cried, the world said nothing. Sitting back in the crib, watching our suffering. Should I talk about the planes dropping shells like rain? Suka had the first taste of a hero's blood. Abaganazo Bunigwe was stronger than flood, but the juke is too strong and fought them off on the chart. Thought the bloodshed's gone, then it came again. 216 and the massacre, it started again. So bloody name, I couldn't cry tears. Blood dripping down my eyes, water in my veins. We died trying to fight the cause and we're trying to break him. It's our freedom, but the world was against us.
Wave your flag over Africa. Welcome people of Biafra. Wave your flag over all the world. See those people of Zion is here.
It is the nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion. It is the nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion.
We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. Yeah. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home.